Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy, Coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Wander.
And Gavin.
Coach of Goinator. All right, boys. We're here for the Burning Questions podcast. Yeah. It's been a long pre-season so far. For some people, it might be just starting right now, but It's been long for us, and there have been a lot of questions throughout the pre-season, and we're probably going to have a lot more to come as well. But what we thought, we'd throw it out to the Wolves, the question. What's a question that you've got? And we'll try to answer as many as we can in this time.
Exactly. This is in my hitting zone. You know how I'm always trying to help other people, the people's prince, just trying to help as many people as I can, Roy.
Yes.
So,
well, I've got a question for you. Straight off. How the hell have you still got this job?
Yeah, I don't know.
I got no idea. We've got plenty of social media channels, and this is where we'll be asking people to throw in their questions for the stuff that we've got coming up. We've got our position preview, so we'll throw some position-specific ones or questions that people want answered for those coming up. But, here's just a broad one. So, social media channels is X, or Twitter. Formerly known as Twitter, at AFL Fantasy there. We've got at AFL Fantasy on Instagram. So heaps of questions in the story that we whacked up there for that one. And it's also the Facebook page too, facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official, if you want to find that.
MySpace? Are we on MySpace?
We might as well be.
Yeah, you're probably still active over
MSN
there.
Messenger, you'll find me, Roy.
Top 8 friends. Right, let's go.
Right, okay,
questions.
Come on, switch on.
John's the first one, because that's popped up first in the feed here. Since you've been gone, legend from WA, how many breakout candidates are too many in your starting squad?
It's a good question.
It is, because, and obviously it varies from year to year what the correct answer ends up being, but there is a few guys sitting in that breakout area this year where you never want to overdo it because it can cook your season.
Yes.
But I don't know, there's 2 or 3 I'm pretty confident in probably.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's about the right number.
Because 2 or 3 with 2 trades a week, if it turns into a disaster, you can get rid of them and not lose too much ground.
Yep.
But I'm thinking back yourself in with about that many.
Yeah, I'm with you, Roy.
Yeah, is this year a bit of a different one as well, do you think, with that? How's your strategy for these early buys? Like, do you want to have more premiums? Like, that's something that's been going through my head a little bit.
Chasing that ceiling with a safe premium rather than, I hear where you're coming from.
But I feel like the forward line is where you can hide a breakout player.
Yes.
Because we all need those guys, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to, unless you want to pay up for those top dogs, then maybe this is where you can throw a couple.
Yeah, Brisbane Bloods Fantasy has this one on X. How much do we take a player's fixture into consideration? Well,
is he kidding?
Well,
Take it away.
What? I'm going to even start before you get into that.
Jeez.
We've got buys, so they definitely need to be taken into. But how much does a fixture? And you're talking scale of hardness, for example, your Calvinator.
As he just
so you don't want. So what you're saying, you don't want to be picking a player that might have a super hard draw, or it could help you. Choose between players.
100%. So a guy like Tom Stewart, his draw is so juicy at the start. It is ridiculous.
Good, I've got him.
It is ridiculous.
For a midfielder or a defender?
For a defender. So keep an eye on that,
playing
of course.
defence.
Yes, he is. So anyway, they start off with a really nice run.
Yeah.
And, of course, he won't have an early buy.
Yeah.
And the other one, time to avoid, of course, the guys with the early buy, but the Dacos is the big one. We've talked about that a lot already. With that tag potentially coming in round 4, followed by his buy after that. So it's a little bit tricky for him.
You got to remember, and I'm someone who definitely looks at the scale as well, but you got to remember sometimes a good player is just a good player.
Yeah, although the scale's good though, because you don't just go a big broad overall. You do look at the best players in each position as well.
That's correct. And
that comes into your weighting.
The last year's winner, mate, he followed by the scale of hardness.
Just saying, cost me a hat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, there, that does has a downside.
What?
Over on the Instagram story, we got this one from Tom Fothers. Is Bont a good option?
Well, look, you can never say Bont's a bad option because Bont is the best player in the league. He has access to points in so many different ways that you can never say he's a bad pick. Now, obviously, the fact that we are thinking he is so expensive, what is he, the second most expensive player
He'll cost you
in the comp this year, I think it's probably a good idea to start elsewhere, given his price tag will be hard to keep at that level.
Now, there is some narrative that he's going to slide down. Where do you put him? Is he your number one midfielder? We did do that in our draft kit, which is coming out very soon, but we've got him there.
I put him number
How
one.
confident are you that he is the number one?
I'm confident that he's as good a chance as any of those elite Uber premiums
There is
to be
always the
number
stories
one.
of backing up and all that
100%
sort of stuff.
there are. And he is someone who, because he is so good forward, that there's always that fear that he spends more time forward. But when he's forward, he kicks goals. So.
He got better as the year went on.
Yes.
He
found a ceiling.
He did
That's
not
what he
slow
did.
down.
Yeah.
So from round 4, he averaged 120. So he's priced at 117.
Oh, value.
Right? Well, I'm just saying, he got better.
Yeah.
After his bye, he went at 123. In his last 4, he goes at 130.
Yeah.
Like, these are legit.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to think that he's going backwards.
And that's what's hard about these draft rankings. Yes, all that data in the past can go, oh, no one backs it up. And yes, he's had a massive year compared to what his best was.
Agreed.
Like he's 10 points better than what he's ever been before.
Like you said, he found that ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, so I started last year with him.
Yep.
And he was almost on the chopping block
He was.
after that first month because
Yep.
I was watching all these guys hit 120s around him, and he was just hitting 90s.
He did.
And it was frustrating. And it's a funny thing, actually, because people these days, with the 2 trades a week, are saying you got to flick premiums that are doing that. But he showed there is still, patience can play a part because he turned into being an elite pick.
And that's maybe where the scale came into it, Roy. Maybe he had 3 hard games to start with.
Could have done.
From
Why didn't you
memory,
let
he
us know
did
that?
go red.
probably
You're
did.
right.
There you go.
Why don't you start with him then? But the short answer is we don't like paying top dollar for players in Classic.
Sorry?
We don't, but we usually panic and do it.
Do you guys have Bontempelli at the moment?
No.
No, it's too
It has
expensive.
not been an actual
idiots.
consideration.
Absolute idiots, you two.
Doesn't have an early buy though, Cal. So
No,
that's
see,
positive.
that
Get
is
him
the
in.
big thing in
Hey.
his favour. That's why it's not out of the question.
No.
If someone's picked Bont, I'm not talking him out of it.
No.
I'm just not going there.
While we're on Instagram, Napoli Jacob, so probably Jacob, Elliot Yeo looks in shape.
Yeah, look.
Pick him.
He does. This is true.
I wrote about Elliot the other day.
Oh, you hate him now.
No. It's pre-season. You cannot have
have
a pre-season without talking about him.
True.
Look, he's got a 70 next to his name as an average. And it's draft only, right? Come on, people. It's draft only.
Well, what?
He's huge value.
What do
for-
you mean draft only?
in
I'm the
defence.
other way.
You want to pick him?
Yeah, I've considered
I'm the other
it.
way. Draft, not draft only, because he's more likely to burn you there. I need 6 weeks out of him at the start of the season.
Good luck getting
In
that,
Classic.
dog.
I think
So why do you say draft only? Because then...
As a late pick, chuck him on your bench sort of dude.
Oh, I'm thinking
No.
bump him up.
Nah. Oh, yeah, you could. But I'm just saying, remember what he did to us last year?
Yeah, but-
You guys have a short memory.
But just remember, I
do.
think you're confusing your brain about draft versus classic.
I'm very
want
familiar with the both. Dog.
6
Yes.
weeks, 6 weeks of Elliot Yeo in classic,
And then
that
what?
can get done. You're trading.
Oh,
you idiot.
well done. You dog's little crystal ball here working beautifully.
Well, my crystal ball.
Other things
of him
happen,
in
dog.
draft.
Other things happen.
You're a peanut.
He's looking really fit, and I can't see how he won't be getting... Like, he's someone who thrives in the midfield.
Schmooky talked him up too.
He did.
He said he was looking good. But I
Straight
think
in the
if we
guts
go
and-
back to the same podcast at the same time last year,
That's where Cow's point is.
would have been the same. But at least he gave us notice. We had a week or so. We still scrambled and derailed
mate.
our season.
Didn't he ever? We did 6 months of pre-season leading into that.
Michael's just got this, probably more of well, it is a question. It's got a question mark at the end. Why do we get so excited in the preseason thinking, this is my year? I need to have it all fall apart by round 3.
Yeah, round 1 for me, usually.
Yeah, it is.
But
And
at
then
least
it's a
you
comeback.
hang in there for 3 weeks.
That's it.
Yeah, slow comeback. He's right, though, because
Yep.
I feel really energised and excited about my team at the moment.
Because
We're all on a
everyone's level.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm level. Levelish. Tilting to the side like McRae's head. But I am level.
Ginormous 18 has this one. How much coin is too much on the bench? Like at this time of the year, I don't mind a bit being there because it lets you do the
Agree.
rookie shuffle stuff that you might have
Is
to
there
do.
anything better than falling short of who you want?
Yep.
Yep.
And you're like, damn. And then you remember you got all that cash on the bench this time. Stuff it. He can be 200,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
But going into round 1,
Yeah.
what do you think? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. This year, you know who I'm going to talk about? There's someone in play who is very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Sweetie. I would never dream of having someone 350 plus on the pine.
Yep.
But especially if you're starting Max and Grundy, he's filling in for you early, like as an extra body on field. If Soldo is out, right, so imagine if Soldo doesn't start the season and we have...
then it's,
What, are you going to start him on your ground? Exactly. But you've got access to, yes, you're paying a bit more, but a guaranteed cash cow. I already think he is R1, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Clearly,
if he's sharing, I don't know if that's too much.
You've got in my head destroy about this.
Have I?
Did you look at my team that went up on afl.com.au?
I'm saved that for tonight. Just before I go to bed.
Is it a good one, is it?
I reckon. I like to go to bed excited.
He's there.
Is he?
Yeah.
You are kidding me.
Because I had
did
that
it.
coin in the bank for those little, like what was saying here by Joe Enormous, having some coin on the bench. I've gone, I might as well just spend it.
And you found Sweetie.
We're 7 weeks away. It's a long time.
Look, I can't believe you flirted with the idea.
It's not a bad play at this time of year.
It's just a lot. It
later
goes
on,
against my philosophies.
you need an extra 150.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Put him down to Max
Max
Heath now.
Heath. In he comes.
But
Anyway.
usually that's an exception to the rule. Usually I'm thinking I don't like my bench guys to be over 250.
I guess the question there is a guy like Daniel Curtin at 279.
Yeah.
That's around your, that's overs what you're suggesting.
Yes.
Are you happy for him to be there?
If I had the money to do it, I'd happily do that.
Yep.
Now, Destroy, this one's in your hitting zone. You versus Cal, basically.
Here we go.
Matt Crouch or Karl Amon.
Wow.
Oh, hang on. A little bit of difference in price.
It's Karl.
There'd
It's
have to
Karl
be.
for me.
I don't know if there is there?
Look,
Yeah. 783 for Karl. 720. Oh no, 730 odd. So it's a 50 odd cut.
that's not much. That's pocket money.
So why do you like Karl?
Karl, because of... Okay, we all know that the half-back is the new more midfield time.
Oh, my goodness,
if
it is.
you are on the half-back line, you just get an absolute holiday and feast of points.
Yep.
And that's what Karl is going to take full advantage of. We got a preview of it at the end of last season where he went from mediocre guy to access to an unbelievable amount of points. Now, I like Matt Crouch. I have for years. But that's just an old school destroy move, just lumping Crouchy in there. I am all over Karl at the moment, and he currently sits in my team.
Wow. And with a thought that he'll take one of those defensive positions by round 7.
Yep. So not only am I thinking he's going to average over 100, he's then going to be moved into my back line.
He went at 113 in that role, right? And I'm not even going to fight you with a Matt Crouch on this. No. I'm with you on this one.
Yeah, I don't recommend fighting.
I've gone a little bit
Look at the
cold.
size of those
I know.
You've been doing a bit of work.
Got a little bit cold on
session before I
Crouchy.
came in.
Got a little bit cold on Crouchy.
Have you? So he's not in your team?
Not at the moment. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people have, and a lot of people have not been in my team, in and out all the time. Amon, he's popped in.
Yeah.
He's popped in. He's had a go.
Okay, look, I'll have sources hardcore on it.
There you go.
But if he's if he's playing half-back...
Agree.
I'm going to highly recommend we all do it.
You saw what the Hawks do back there as far as chippy goes. Like, if he's involved in that, 113 in that role at the end of the year, he's not going to be that, right? But I'm with you. He could.
I've been consuming a bit of information and stuff. What Hawthorn did in those last few games was pretty ugly
It was.
as well.
It was.
Like, that's not.
But they didn't
That's
get
not what they're
flogged,
going to
though,
do
did they?
this year.
Weren't they competitive?
Don't know. I've already forgotten about what happened at the end of last year. Anyway.
Check that out. I think they like what Karl was doing.
I'll get on
But
that.
you're right. Everyone's points were inflated for them. in that
Simon
period.
has got this one. Jordan Clark is his starting option. Well, Schmookie again.
loved it.
That's
said
his boy.
yes.
He went last year on Caleb Sarong, which, went on a massive limb on that one. But, no, he was good.
No, it was.
it
He did a secondary breakout.
Yeah. But anyway, what do we think about Clark then as a potential starter?
Well, if the news is correct and Schmookie's never been wrong, I think, back him in if you like him.
He's leading the Journo of the Year.
He is. Well, one thing he said that certainly pricked my ears up, with Hayden Young moving in for more midfield time, boo, boring, he reckons Clarkie, half back, mopping up all those easy points.
Well, I've got a little stat here for you, Roy, because I did talk about this fella in something I've been working on. Now, Jordan Clark, when Young went into the midfield, through those 5 weeks, he averaged 88.
That's all right.
Okay, so he's priced around the 76, 77 mark.
He's under.
So that's a small little 10-point bump just on a little bit more responsibility, I guess.
He'll go 90 plus this year.
So
if that's enough for you,
raise it to 100.
lock it.
There you go.
Yeah, lock him in. Good pick.
Matt Byron. Here's a first draft question here. We do love getting plenty of draft questions because that's opening up very soon and you'll be able to start doing your drafts. But most likely you should be holding off until probably March.
If you can. Hold like Gladiator.
Yep.
Hold.
So Max got this one. Our mate Kyle is insisting captains off in draft. Name and shame and talk sense into him.
Mate.
Right, well, what's the case for and against for it?
That's not hitting a 6. That's not having fun. No one has funs with captains off.
You got a pretty deep draft though. Like if you're,
Oh,
like, I know in our 12s.
Yeah.
Everyone's able to pick a good captain option.
Look, if you want it,
Why don't you make a list of 12 then for us each week?
if you want
Jeez, that's a lot of
a
work.
really even playing field where everyone's kept happy, by all means do
You know
it.
what? And at the end of the year, everyone wins an award as well. Everyone wins. No one loses in that draft, do they?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Jeez.
If your draft order is worked out by something that requires a bit of skill, I am all for 100% captains on and punishing whoever came last for being unskilled.
Who's this bloke that wants captains off?
Kyle.
Kyle, mate. Have a look at yourself. You reckon the game for all your mates as well.
All right, Greeny's got this one. Fyfe or Sardis?
Roy.
Fyfe.
Roy, he's all over
on the
this.
Fyfe
I don't mind
life.
the Fyfe call either.
Yeah.
Again, he's a bit like you get through 6 weeks with him.
I'm happier to get through 6 weeks with Fyfe than I am with Yo-Yo.
If Fyfe
Really?
At a bargain of a price.
Well,
if Fyfe,
Yo's a bargain.
Listen, if Fyfe is dead set being unleashed as
In the
midfield
guts.
bull, that's potentially 90 areas.
Yeah.
And however long it lasts, we don't know. But
Guys can run through that midfield though.
yeah, a few. But this is a 2-time Brownlow medalist.
Fyfe's got a 4 in front of his name.
It's just
It's a 4. 491.
completely rude and disrespectful not to pick him.
And as a forward.
I know. You're hiding it.
Come on.
It's like no risk in
Yes.
that dud forward line.
Yes,
Yeah.
agree.
So I'm Fyfe.
Over Sardis.
Yeah.
Where do you sit with Sardis, Doc?
Oh, no.
No. All right.
I just don't think there's enough there.
Like,
I think Fyfe can score more than him, but obviously comes with greater risk.
yeah.
And the Bombers midfield squeeze, we all know what that's like.
Oh, everyone gets a go.
Yeah. No, it's Fyfe for me.
Yep.
Clearly.
I'm a fan of it.
Calvinator, Bo wants to know Mitch Hinge, yes or no?
Look, he's popped into my team as well,
You
I
know
must
what?
admit.
You know I'm a fan of Hingy.
Yeah, Hinge. Look, he went like 91 after his buy. He's priced at 75. Yes, there is meat on the bone. Oh, you know where he can get around it, Roy.
Yeah.
Up the wing or on the half back.
He can.
Half back
He's
roll.
very good at it.
Yeah, so he does. I'm not going to talk anyone out of that.
No, nor am I.
No. So you obviously want to watch what the role is, and if he is floating across and up those wings, then, yeah, if he looks like he can be a 90 guy again, go for it.
Yep.
All right. Pick a captain for the whole season.
Oh, as if you do that. Who
No
does
duplicates.
that? No.
See who wins.
Who said that? Is that Kyle again?
Cal gets to pick last due to skill.
Jeez.
Well, I'll take...
Who wants to do
Who would
that?
I take as my captain? Zach Merritt. I'll go Zach Merritt. Who would you go,
You've
Roy?
left it open.
Oh, I'm just going to go Bont.
Oh, my goodness, you two.
What?
Number 1 player, Tim English.
I'll take it on.
Really?
Yeah.
Headaches?
He's fine. He's good to go.
All right.
Or Roro, I don't know.
Are you going to have Tim English in your team?
No way. And that's the thing with captains. It changes every
does,
week. It
yeah.
changes every week. A lot of factors come into it.
Yes.
You just can't go off writing off captains.
No.
It's a part of the game.
You just don't know where that dart's going to hit.
No, you never do.
Is it a windy day?
I might
or-
miss the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
James wants to know, how do I know if my team is good or bad?
Show
Usually
me.
on that Sunday night of round 1.
Oh,
you get
that's
there
when
and
you-
you know where you're sitting.
Captain Hindsight.
I think there's enough information out there. Even what we produce is, semi-decent. Right? There's enough information out there to put yourself a good starting squad.
I think so. Yeah. This is the funny thing about fantasy. It's me against the world. However, I want us all to start,
successful.
Pretty well.
Yep.
I hate that feeling, that sick feeling of having a dud team. And we want to avoid that happening too quick.
And that's the thing. There could be, come round one, 100,000 really good teams that look just like yours.
And I won't mind being ranked 100,000
and it could
as
be,
long as we're all there together.
Yeah, 3 points separating top and 10,000.
Yeah,
she always starts real tight though.
It does.
So happy to be.
It's going to be all over the shop, I reckon, because of these buys too. Those first few.
Yeah,
weeks.
it will. Whoever gets the right sort of play, agree.
And that's one of the cool things. We don't know what is right.
I know.
Yeah. Oh, dog.
Tortoise versus the hare. Tortoise, which we're too scared to play that way, that might come home.
I always come out as the hare, Roy. I'd like to play that way.
Yes, I know.
Hard and fast.
Hard and fast.
Angus.
Dog's the turtle. Tortoise, same thing.
Walsh versus Butters versus Steele.
Okay.
Go, Roy.
In an ordinary season, it would be Walsh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think he's going to have a sensational year, 110 plus. We'll want him at some stage. Because he's got the bye, I'm wiping him out of that equation. So, hate to say it, but no Walsh. Round 2, that's way too early to miss him. Let's just get him round 3. As far as the other two, I'm massive on Butters, and I have a lot more faith in Butters than I do Steele. If Steele is 100% fit, which I assume he wasn't last year, he is so underpriced.
Agree.
And he's well worth considering. But I have more faith in Butters, who I think is underpriced. He's under 900,000.
Yeah.
I think he's a little gift at the moment, and he's having a wicked preseason as well.
Let's start to where you're thinking for draft then. Who are you taking first in draft out of Walsh, Butters and Steele?
Walsh.
Yep. Second?
Butters.
Butters over Steele.
Yep.
Cow, are you on that?
I'm on the same.
Yep.
All right. What are we doing with Clary? Well, he was back at training this week.
He was.
He was.
So I don't think we can be... Well, we're not starting him in Classic.
No.
He's still not with the main group.
Where is he in our
Okay,
draft?
because we did bump him down a bit there for a while. We hadn't seen him, and that's fair. That's what draft is. But I think he's easily back in. He's got to be right back up the top, doesn't he?
Oh, he's still not allowed to play with his friends directly.
Okay.
He's still in the naughty corner.
That's okay. I think he's working his way back. I think he'll be right. He plays round 1.
I read that he was laughing and joking with him,
Yeah.
so maybe I'll bump him up 2 more spots.
I think, he can go up. I think he's going to be back ready to go.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do.
Right, so he's like top 3 midfielder.
probably, if you were...
I'm top 3 mid.
You're just banging him straight back in
Yep,
there.
I am banging him straight back in.
Okay, hang on. This needs to be
We've already
broken
submitted
down.
our draft kit.
So
rankings.
you're not, you won't put him in. Oh no, that's embarrassing.
But no, that's okay.
No, I don't think he's awful in it.
No.
No,
People can make
it'd
their
be
own
top
decisions.
10. That's fine. So Bond, you're not putting him in front of Bond. You're not putting him in front of Merritt.
Zach.
No, I think he goes 3 out of mids.
What? Lairdy?
Tom Green, I'd have in front of
Green.
him.
He comes out. What if he comes out in this opening round? Because we get a look at him,
Walsh,
which is great.
He's still not even locked to play.
Did you
opening
scoff
round,
at that?
You got Walsh
Get out.
ahead of Oliver. You've lost the plot.
Get out the door.
Keep an eye on him. You can
Zach has
still-
this one. Flanders or McRae? I think for me, in both formats, classic and draft, I'm taking McRae first.
So am I. Are we old school?
That's what I'm about to say. Of course we're going to go McRae first. We've always gone McRae first.
Now he's priced at the lowest point that he's been since.
And why would you think that is,
for a
Warren?
decade.
Look, I'm a massive.
Because it was an anomaly?
No?
Or is that
I'm a
the
big
real
fan
thing?
of Sam Flanders, right?
Yep.
My concern with him is everything the same for him? New coaches. It's a high risk thing when a new coach comes in, because he was, after years of just being wasted, he was finally unleashed and he dominated. But is he going to be unleashed again? What role is he going to play? But then on the flip side, there is negative role or job security. Oh, job security is there, but role security for McRae is also what? Disgusting.
Yep. So
So we get bevoed all the time.
I'm with you. It's got to be McRae probably first, but we get an opening round game from Flanders, Then he goes into Adelaide Bulldogs, and then he's bye.
Of course. I split that
So
one with the bye then.
I don't think that he'll basically get a little bit of a price rise there if he's awesome, and then we can look at him after that.
But you're not taking Flanders before him in draft either, though, are you?
No, you can't.
Old school is cool, dog. But
It depends on what we see.
Yeah.
If your draft is after seeing enough to go that Flanders is a midfielder, full stop, and they're
and McRae's out sulking on a wing,
banana.
then yes, you can go Flanders.
Yeah, but at the moment in Classic, it's McRae with no bye over Flanders.
It's a straight bat.
Which can go to Tom's question here. Just starting out and doing a draft, what's the best strategy? Do you go forwards and rucks first? So we did a draft for our a mock draft for our draft kit, which is out very soon. Basically, we had sort of English and Marshall. We feel like they're going to go relatively early.
Bang, bang.
Maybe second round, you've got your Max and possibly Grundy around there. But forwards weren't really coming off the board much because I feel like, and I think I said this on another podcast at some point, where a lot of the forwards, like ranked 20 through to 50, were like within 8 to 10 points of each other. So you can just go and grab those guys because there's just so many question marks as well about a lot of the forwards.
What I did...
You're probably not getting confidence in who you're picking.
No, I left my forwards till last because you could throw a blanket over it. Once the top couple had gone, and I wasn't willing to use a first-round pick on McRae or someone because I got zero faith in him. So I left it till last. Now, it looks disgusting because it'll probably end up I'll have to use the waiver wire because I rounded it out with someone like Harms who might not even get a game.
Okay.
But if he does, he is going to be within 5 points of guys that were getting picked up 3 rounds earlier than him.
I like the strategy.
So my other lines, I feel like every player could average 100 pretty much.
Yep.
And then that
rabble
sucked.
Yep.
Chris has got this one here. So speaking of forwards, we're going back to Classic now. 2 premiums and 4 rookies in the forward line. Is that asking for trouble?
4 rookies?
Yeah.
Got to wait to see what
who they are. That's the thing.
Like,
I don't think there will be 4 that you could play on field, are there?
Like, so Harley Reid,
Yep.
we count him. I got so much faith in what he's going to do.
Agree. Half back roll, Roy.
Guess McRae is one.
He could be counting McRae as a rookie there. I don't mind that. That's fine.
Finlay.
Well,
Yep.
Jack could be at rookie price.
He's more than capable. Manor
is
one that
probably counting him.
we opened up thinking that.
I don't-
Since I'm not as confident.
No, neither am I.
But it's certainly one for us to watch. But no, I don't think he can do that.
It
to be
is a
honest.
line where you can go cheaper, but I think you're probably looking more mid-priced. Some of those cheaper players, like,
I think so.
You know, a James Jordan, for example, in the 400s. Is it Fyfe in the 400s?
Yes.
Like you wouldn't want them. Oh, jeez, they're going to have to be, your 3 and 4 if you're looking at that.
That's how I'd.
So if we were set up
structured
with McRae and Harley Reid, and they're both playing well, obviously, they're at 5 and 6.
Agree, yes.
I don't think you can be stretching. Depends though.
Yeah, so no from me at the moment because even if you found enough playing in round 1 to do that, if it turns to crap and they start getting dropped, you could be looking at a donut.
And how you're chasing that, how you fix that. It's like your Xerri problem last year.
It is.
Like if you've got that sort of price
Agree.
there, trying to
But then again,
patch.
when with so many rounds of 18 in the first 6, you're not generating cash with them, but you could be loaded up with absolute heat in your other positions.
You could, and a lot of those guys that we just talked about are very substitute worthy.
Yes.
Very in the vest, like a Finlay McRae.
Yeah.
He will be vested if he's playing at some point.
Yeah.
James Jordan loves the vest, Roy.
Oh, he does.
He goes to bed in
That's
it.
why he's so cheap.
He loves it.
Luke's got this question. Why do you go by the name Calvin? Oh, I don't think we've got enough time on
Don't
this
have enough
podcast.
time, mate.
Just the simple thing is he's not right. That's
People used to
basically
call
the thing.
me Coolvin. Didn't catch on. So I've gone Calvin.
Moo Cow, Calvinator.
Now, Cash has got this one. Who's the best replacement now that Xerri is out injured? So, I guess the Xerri, that facial fracture,
He's tough,
he
though.
should be right, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
So,
he's
what
fine.
He'll wear a mask if he has to.
Yeah, like Batman.
is he in your teams at the moment?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so I went to Max instead.
Yeah.
Oh, jumper?
Well, the three, your 2 rucks are going to come from those 3, aren't they?
I think so.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Max gone. Do not get me wrong here.
So if I didn't have, if I went away from X-Man,
Yep.
I would be going to Max.
Agree.
But I am with X.
Yep.
All the way.
Yep.
God, are you serious? You'll come back.
He will come back.
As long as he's right. The
Dog-
thing is, I don't know.
He'll
I've
have
got
a-
this idea of Max is just closer to the top,
Yes.
and that value there.
I agree with you, Dog. I agree. When you see my...
Xerri is not, dare I say, keeper in your team.
He
could
is.
be.
He could be. Wait and see. Careful using that word too, because you don't know what it's going to be. When you have a look at my midfield and you go, holy hat cow, you've got 1, 2, 3, 6 premiums
Oh,
in
he's
there.
done
No,
that
he
again.
hasn't done. What have I got? 5, and you go,
I've got 5.
but you look at mine and go, oh, that's an elite 5, and you'll panic. Max down to X.
All right, who's your M5?
Butters.
Whoa.
There you go, in your face.
Gee whiz.
I've done it, Calvin.
Have you put him in order, price order? That's the issue. I
They're in
reckon.
price order, mate.
Really?
Yeah.
I've got LDU. Butters is a M3 for me.
LDU. Oh, premium. I
thought
said
we were talking
premium.
premiums.
Warren.
LDU will be right.
He will be. He's good, yes.
I'm excited enough about him.
Yep.
Who's your M1 then, Cal?
Bond.
You're not.
Mate.
He wasn't joking.
Oh, you
I'm not joking.
Oh, well, good on you. I wouldn't talk
Who
you.
have you got destroy?
Good old Zach Merritt.
Yes, same.
Okay, tagged in round 1. No worries.
I don't know if Finn gets a game.
I don't know if he does
Which actually
either.
could get
Well, it makes me
Dacos back into...
Oh,
a little bit more redundant as well if Finn's not playing.
it does.
Anyway.
What are you going to talk about?
Well, no one, right? Keep throwing those darts.
Bo wants to know, is Sheasel an option?
Yes. I hate how everyone's off him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Look, I know he's headed for
Roll
dreaded
is
more
too-
midfield time, which it's the last thing we want for him.
Yeah.
However, he's a very good player.
He is.
He's not getting any worse. Obviously, his average last year was inflated by some of those ridiculous half-back games, but surely he will still float back there from time to time. I just think he's just so good and he's available in defence. We're not going to get this opportunity many more times in his career.
Agree. And like we've been saying, I'm not talking anyone out of that.
No, he's in my team at the moment.
Is he?
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
Good
Ed
pick.
wants to know here, Cam Guthrie is in option.
Yes,
or do you
he
go
is.
the upside of Amon? So if you're comparing the pair,
Yeah.
who is it?
The upside is with Karl, but Guthrie is he's a very good pick.
He is a good
I
pick.
think, and he's been training really well. So yeah, basically he's their man in the middle this year. Like
Yeah.
he is, it's all about him. So it
has to
He's
be.
going to push his average back up
We've got a
towards
few
100.
players in that group, don't we, around that price?
We do.
Like, is Wines about there as
Yeah,
well? Like it's
about
all that.
700 something.
Yeah, all those guys that have that.
Yeah,
They've been there before.
yeah, good players.
And is that the old man thing in that, saying that?
Potentially, or are they just back healthy in their rightful positions? And it's a layup, is it? It sort of is.
Could be.
So Guthrie's priced
should
at
be.
an average of 84 after being 96 the year before.
Yeah, and then like 110 the year before.
So obviously
that.
the 110 days are gone,
Oh,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they're gone.
that was an anomaly.
But he could be your high 90, low 100 guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
could.
There's a little bit of meat on the bone.
They've thrown him the keys.
Yep.
Super Dragons, DT. As someone who is quite new to fantasy draft and classic leagues, they seem quite fun, but I don't know. But I don't really know where to look to get involved in those things.
Good question.
Don't have any friends who play fantasy. Well, firstly, get your mates playing it. That's if you got mates that like footy, just get them playing it.
I can relate to a part of that.
Exactly what I thought.
I don't have any
Should
friends.
see our league.
But how can you start getting things started? I guess social media is a good place.
There you go.
You'll find
It is.
plenty of people on there.
Yeah.
People will throw out some stuff. Well, if people are looking for leagues and stuff or filling up their leagues, we'll retweet those.
Yes,
that sort of
and they
stuff.
fill up in a flash.
They do.
usually.
People love them.
And yeah, you start getting that. Draft can be interesting though because you want people that are committed and playing to
Yes.
that. And I don't know, some advice on that is get a little bit of a group that you might be chatting with about fantasy.
But you know what? There might be a lot of people in their position that would love to be doing draft, but they don't have the crew.
Yeah.
So I think social media for all the bad things, you might actually make
the fantasy
a little
community
group
is
of
pretty
friends.
good too.
It is. So
a great thing.
You don't want to miss out on draft because your friends aren't cool enough to live draft.
Losers.
So if we can turn to socials, and you might make some fantasy friends.
Love it. Exactly what you do.
Got this one. Is this forward line too thin? A lot of questions about forwards. The rest of the team is pretty solid. So, Flanders, Adams, Jordan, Finlay McRae, Harley Reid, and Zane Dersma. So, sort of got the three rookies there in McRae, Reid, and Dersma. Dersma I don't love.
Not at the 290.
And just...
He's not going to score a lot.
I don't have a heap of faith in Durs.
But he'll play, but he won't score a lot.
I don't know if he plays enough. Like he might be
okay.
a sub.
Yeah, right.
Adams and Jordan. This is something that's gone through my head. That's two Swans that have obviously got an early bye.
And you got Grundy.
I think that's too thin as far as the bye goes.
Because I've got all those. I've got those three in my team.
And then you throw Flanders in that as well, and you got another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the tricky thing in that.
That is too thin at the moment, but
your top four there all have a bye.
Yeah.
The early bye.
But so that is too thin, but a fat forward line at the moment is a complete waste of money as well. Because if you're spending up on dudes in the forward line,
you're paying money where you actually don't have any idea what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You're not going to invest in a McRae.
Yes, that is a little bit too thin, that one.
Yep.
Zach also says, Warnie, what Blink song are you most looking forward to seeing live?
That's a good question.
It's not far away.
It's not far away.
You know what I really want to see live? Because I'm loving the new album, but Anthem Part 3, if that doesn't become their opener, I'll be very surprised. That's cool, because Anthem Part 2 is a good opener too.
It is.
But it's pretty epic.
It's a good album.
Anything's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see it all. It's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
Cracking out the old Dixie's
Should watch
pants.
it twice.
We should. You're going, Cal?
Going there. I'm only going one show though, fellas. You guys are
And you're
crazy.
sitting right up in the bleachers too, aren't you, old mate?
Yeah, that's where I go these days. I'm not invited up the front.
We literally are mosh pitting up the front.
Winding back.
Dangerous.
I can
Winding
see
back
Dog
the
on your
clock.
shoulders.
I'm going to say, pass him around the mosh pit. I'm going to throw Dog up there.
Will Calvin bring back the pirate jokes this year? Dylan wants to know that.
Dylan, there's only so many pirate jokes going around.
I think you used them all. Actually, you did use them all by mid-season, and then you normal jokes. into
Recycled a
pirate
few. I made different jokes into pirate jokes.
You did.
But what? Yeah, I'll look into it. If you can send me some, that would be great.
That's a good idea because you did become very stressed
like,
pirate.
especially on scarymummy.com. Not a paid endorsement, but I'm just saying, that's a hard place to find jokes, really.
I reckon because it's not their main business, Cal.
Braden wants to know about Nic Martin, a massive pod. So a point of difference here.
Okay.
I believe he
Take
has
it away,
a
Warren.
half-back role.
What?
Thoughts?
How many halfbacks are on the field these days?
He's going to be one to watch for that.
If he's halfback,
But I could not put
he's
him.
built for that.
Yeah, he is, definitely.
Oh, my God.
I just worry about
If he's doing it, get him.
his disposal at times. But I don't know. He's
Oh, here we go.
He's a straight mid. It's going to be hard.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it's a draft sort of one that
It
you're
is.
going.
Oh.
What's his
tell you
average
what.
last year?
He averaged 85.
Look, if
Yeah,
he,
so he's later in your drafts.
this is just like Karl.
He could be a 90 guy here. So
he
with
could-
defender status.
He could be extraordinary back there. If you want a pod and you know he's playing there, back yourself in,
Is your
mate.
view of him a little bit distorted, though, because of what you missed out on in round one from him?
How many times are we going to go over
Yeah.
this?
Rubs
He
it
kicked
in.
5 goals for that, so you're not going to do that off half.
Kicks him while he... No, this is what I've got to put up with, Roy, every week.
I've tried to bring energy. He's just
Matthew
not
wants
happy
to know,
until I'm deflated.
who do you predict to be the top 6 to 8 of each line? Hold your horses.
Hey.
Because we're going to look at that next week, basically, when we start doing our positions.
Yes.
That's your homework. I haven't told you that probably, Roy, but there you go. That's what you got to do.
I can do that.
You can make a lot of sense out of that, I
Bloody
reckon.
oath I can.
Keep rolling,
Stay tuned.
rolling.
Yeah, it's my
I can't
hitting
wait
zone.
for it. I love it.
Fred Durst. Cool. All right. Calvin was singing that very well.
Thank you.
Shane, the best key forward to have this year. Now, that's interesting. Are they in play at all?
No.
No, they're not.
Look, I
They
thought...
would be in
we
draft.
said-
They're going to need to be.
We said no to that question last year, and then big Tex Walker popped into
What
teams.
did
left,
Curnow
right, and
average as
centre.
well? He was
was good.
See, you got grumpy at me when I suggested mentioning Curnow in something the other
because
day.
I've seen you
Yes,
pick
okay,
blokes
sometimes...
like Jack Darling. He's got to be top 6 forward.
He was for a period. 1 week. No, listen, though. Curnow, he averaged like 87, and he's like top 10 easy. So there you go. He is in play, but no, we're just avoiding.
No.
How confident are you taking him around? Like, how confident would you be picking him in draft as in the top half a dozen?
Extremely.
Would you?
Yeah.
But see, this is my issue with him. I reckon, like, is it Harry? Is it Charlie? Do they flick it around like they did?
It's Charlie. It's Charlie all
He's a
the
very
way.
good player.
He is. But, like, it's only draft. So he averages something like 87, right?
Yep.
But he's got 2 150s in that. So you've had to put up with some pretty disappointing weeks as well to get to that. So he's won you a couple of rounds with your 150s, but he's also probably lost you a couple with some subpar. So, no, we're not going there. Am I confident in draft? Yes, because there's no one else in the forward line. So if I ended up with him, I'd be like, at least he's got access to a 150.
Now, Toby Green's supposed to be staying more forward this year, and you would assume that GWS give North and West Coast a little bit of a belting in the first couple of rounds. So they should be on top of the ladder, and he could be winning the Coleman at that point.
Yeah.
3 questions from 3 different people here about Paddy Cripps at under 800K. Is he an option?
He's been
Karl
quite
put his line through him the other day when we were doing our draft rankings.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's been quite disrespected in terms of generating any chat this preseason. But unfortunately, it's warranted. No, we don't go there.
All right. Sid wants to know your best locks for each position. Karl, give me your defender lock that you will definitely start with.
I'm going to take an easy one here with Hayden Young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be my
Anyone
guy.
else that you will call a lock, Roy?
Well, Zach Williams is currently locked in to mine, but it depends on what I see in that round 0. If he completely stinks or gets injured, obviously, out.
All right, midfield. Karl, who's a lock in your midfield?
A lock.
Oh, these could be really easy.
Could be anyone. Could
Karl
be anyone in
Kircher.
there. Could be anyone. Well, of course, Karl's going to be there, but I'm going to go with Lairdy.
Okay.
He's not moving.
Hasn't moved.
Has not moved, will not move.
I'll start with an easy one too and go Riley Sanders, but
Give me another one
Zach Butters.
Butters.
I like it.
What about ruck then? Like, are we just go? Okay, so this is probably a ruck question. A few people did ask this. Gone or Grundy?
It's Grundy for the value.
It is.
It's Grundy
Look,
for the value.
I think Max is going to outscore Grundy quite comfortably, but Grundy's value is, way too...
Priced at 75 average.
Way too good.
You know, and
And he looks happy, and he's number
Well,
one.
we dominated the other
and-
day too. Saw a training report out of that.
yes, he did. But who was he against? Right?
Was it
He's
Laddams?
probably rucking against Taylor Adams out there. The thing is, they play each other in that opening round. That's going to be a real... I'm talking Max, not Taylor Adams. So that's going to be really interesting to see what they score and what adjustments people make based on that.
Yeah, like if Max goes to town.
Max could come out and just go, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Can you find a forward lock for us? You can cheat and go Harley Reid.
Well, yeah, that's the definite cheat answer.
That is, well, he is the biggest lock in the forward line. And this is probably the story of it. There isn't someone else that you call a lock. There's players that you like and probably even possibly haven't left your team. But
Look,
you're going,
yes.
there's question marks.
Funny, Taylor Adams hasn't left my team.
Yeah. Karl's never had him.
No, I
that's
don't want him.
So, yeah, well, that's sort of saying that you've got...
So he's had a brilliant preseason, apparently.
Connor McDonald,
Like every
he's
other
been there
player
for
in the
me
comp.
for a while.
Yeah, I like
But
him. And his
once
stocks
again-
almost feel like they keep rising as well. Which
But if I don't see him getting the clock that I think he should get, then he goes as well. See, Zach Fisher got a hamstring issue again.
Yeah.
So at what?
Yeah, I know.
They found out it
he
was
probably
actually
was.
real. Yes.
He was probably one that I was.
Yeah.
I was
could have
very
really said in
comfortable
that
with that.
category.
Okay, so let's go. His hamstring comes right and he's named for round 1. We've had 2 scares from him. Well, we've had 1 scare. They were like, I don't think it's a scare. We'll scan it. Oh, yeah, there it is a scare. It's a problem, Roy.
If he gets a couple of weeks proper run at it, I will pick him again.
Still go.
Yeah. He's made for that role.
620 odd K. Once again, it's unders and it's a forward.
These pracky games are going to be super important to watch, I reckon, and see what we can find for these forwards. And Maybe use your little favourite star on some of the forwards as
he
well.
does,
You always need a couple of others.
Yeah.
You need some colours.
do.
Don't know. That could be an improvement when the going to get sort of redone for 2025, which is exciting. Last question here comes from Yoska Guidi. Has Swingers Week already caught on?
It has. It's funny.
It's awesome.
It has caught on.
Has it?
Roy and I walked out to the car after we were talking about Swingers
and
Week.
what were you doing?
And I said, what are you up to tonight, Roy? No, we said, how did it get to that point? And we were talking about how the opening round, you get a free look at them and it feels like you're cheating.
Cheating, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where the Swingers round came in.
And then all of a sudden, Ben Keys was getting thrown in the room in the hat.
I've noticed you've got your keys here today, Roy.
I
We'll
do.
just all put them in a bucket on the way out, will we?
What if like I drew your keys? Though? How does that work?
I don't know. I think you just drive back to my house.
Yes, but the answer is yes. It has caught on. And everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about
If you want to hear what that rubbish was about, you can go back and listen to the podcast, which is kind of our first one back after our club previews. You got those to listen to as well. So there's a bit there to crack into.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great content there. And that last podcast was good because we went around the grounds and got some great intel, especially when we spoke to Schmooky the WA team.
Way out west.
Go back and have a look at that. Give us a rating, review, click the 5 stars and all that sort of stuff on the podcast. And we'll be back next week where we'll be looking at the defenders and the midfielders. Week after that, we'll be getting into the rucks and the forwards. We'll leave them till last. Hopefully we can find some content.
It's important. It's actually the most important one out of all of them.
It is.
Trying to find something in that rubble.
Who's in charge of that one? Oh,
Destroy.
Oh, thankfully. At least you get some good info.
What we would get from the eight. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll be back very soon for the next podcast. See ya.